sailing towards the ending, ending. We're sailing towards the ending, ending. We're sailing towards the ending,
the way that you make me feel like I've never been felt before. When look in your eyes, I found the one I've been waiting for. I'm feeling electric. Our love is electric. The way that you make me feel like I've never been felt before. I'm feeling electric. Look in your eyes, I found the one I've been waiting for. I'm feeling electric.
Hello everyone, this is your first time caster Kimchi here. It's been a long time since I've last casted a game, since who knows how long. And let's just hope it doesn't go as badly as when I first ever casted my game.
No, it won't. And I am also first time caster, so a little treat for everybody in here with us.
This will be interesting because I've never really watched any prospect games besides like scouting, but even then I wasn't really paying attention, let's say, because I don't know. Prospect games are fun, but I feel like I don't know, just the things that happen in
No,
this
no, no,
tier.
no. We don't diss on prospect, buddy.
I'm
just
not.
playing. So,
I'm just like lost sometimes. It's just like my like brain just cannot comprehend what happens sometimes. So it's like, please bear with me for not understanding half the time.
well, it leads to very exciting matchups like the one we have here today. It's I think we got High Tide versus LG prospect teams. So it's going to be Swell for the High Tide and Pink Azalea for LG.
I believe there are some high how would you say, high tension between these teams because there are really good players on both sides.
I agree.
And so it's going to be very interesting. I would even say this is going to be a very close game. I would probably say 11-13 for both maps. Even.
11-13. I think that it's going to be a very good matchup as well. Actually, I was on High Tide last season, so there might be a little biased. I will try not to put that in there.
Whoa, no
Whoa,
bias,
whoa,
no
whoa, whoa.
bias now.
No, I'm just playing. No caster cursing here. But-
Surely not, but
Yep. Our IGLs is going to be D-Fits versus Mr. Vic trying to outcall each other. Should be a really good matchup. I've played with both players. Very, very good. All right, we're going to move into map bans here.
let's see what maps are going to be banned and picked. This will be very interesting because I would think, especially like maps like Breeze and Icebox, where most of the people just don't like it, I think those will just outright get banned, but we'll see here.
Yeah, we will see. I believe that Swell is going to be the home team, so they'll have the first... No, Pink Azalea should have the first ban. I believe that's how it works.
Yes. Let's see. Meanwhile, while the bans are going on, how do you feel about both these teams, Eagle?
I think, like I said before, it's going to be a great matchup. Mr. Vic and D-Fits really do have some very smart plays. Like I've said, I played with both of them. And then they've also got some fraggers on their team with them. I know Airlifts absolutely killed it during the Combines. And he is on High Tide this time. And I believe Wanderer was absolutely mowing down the competition in Combines too. So I'm looking forward to seeing these matches up.
Well, with bans coming in, Breeze and Split, a lot of the non so popular maps where communication and teamwork require a high amount of skill, in my opinion, are going to be banned outright. I believe I'm going to just see Icebox and maybe Bind banned. We'll see. I
would say
believe
Sunset.
Ooh, Sunset.
Sunset. I think they might throw Sunset out. We'll see.
I think Sunset is a workable map. I don't believe it's a hard map to really counter either. It's just really depends on the comp, like, let's say. So, we'll see.
Waiting on
With Breeze getting banned Spurs, I can understand a long-range engagement, it's a certain playstyle. It's really rough to work with. Same with Split, you just need a lot of coordination. And Sunset getting banned by LG.
a High Tide ban.
The band Icebox. I
Icebox.
called it. Interesting. And then what would be the picks? There'd be Bind, Ascent, and what am I missing?
Lotus? Is that still
Lotus. Yes. I would love to see. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there
I
it
would
is.
love to see the Lotus, and it's gonna be a very interesting one because I believe this map, for at least if the rotating doors are very crucial and
Give me
breakable for
Bind.
A and B.
Give me Bind. I want to see rotating doors. I want to see TPs. I want to see it all the chaos here in this prospect game. Let's see what Pink Azalea will pick.
They pick Ascent,
That's
going back
Ascent.
to a very basic map. I would love to see some interesting comps here, but if they go back to like the regular default,
Yeah.
it'd be pretty normal. But you know,
Generally-
just something to spice it up, you know, to throw it around.
Generally, Lotus is going to be that attack-sided map, that fast hit, take a lot of control kind of map, whereas Ascent is a very, from everything that I've seen, very even map. Going to be one of the most even-sided maps.
I would even
in
say it's
game.
very textbook style for Ascent. Like there's nothing to really change up because everything that you do already is already like solidified. It just works. We just gotta on defense is kind of going to be the issue. Whereas like how can you counter the set default textbook plays?
Right. I'm looking forward to these two maps. I think we're gonna get an absolute show here.
So with LG and High Tide playing, this is like I believe that how would you say this? with like the IGL is having very big brain. Like I
Yeah.
believe this is gonna be a very interesting map, especially Lotus, where it's like you could have so many set plays and just do so much with the rotating doors and broken doors, like in between A and B and B and C. Like there's just so
Right.
many plays you can do. It's gonna be interesting on how to see how they will react to it on defense at all.
I'm really looking forward to this gameplay in general. So I'm looking at this. A lot of first-time players in VDC in these games on both teams. It looks like.
Well, I will say I don't know really anybody in any of these teams except for Defit. So everybody here is new to me. So we'll see. This will be very interesting.
I played with a lot of these people in combines, and I can say that a lot of them did impress me, made an impression. So I think this is going to be a very good matchup. We're waiting for the players to get all set up here, and then we're gonna jump in game.
So fixing some of the issues currently. What else would you say is notable players here aside the IGLs here,
Aside from
Eagle,
the
since you played?
IGLs. All right. Well, going to the High Tide team, I have to talk about my boy Airlifts. Last season when I played with them, in the beginning, he couldn't hit a shot. I will be honest with you, could not hit a shot. But I gave him the honorary most improved player of Prospect last season, just from me alone, because incredible. He basically won High Tide the championship by just improving so much throughout the series. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he helps put this team on his back and carries them through. He's on that duelist role today, it looks like, and I think he messaged me earlier and said he's going to drop a 30 bomb. So we might have to hold him to that.
Let's see if he can pull it off here with the map about to start.
Let's see.
Let's see if he can come back and, run it back like last season, top fragging, pulling the way of the team. We'll see.
We will see. All right, we're
Alright.
finally out here in game. Getting ready to lock in these agents.
It seems like High Tide already know what they want to pick and they just lock in what they want. Let's see. They have a double controller set up with a Cypher. Very interesting from High Tide. I would not really like a Cypher on this map because the KJ util and the area denial is just so much stronger. But if you have set setups for A and C, I think it'd be very strong. I don't think people would expect it. So it honestly, it's a double-edged sword here. It can work very well in your favor, but it also can just be a real downside because Cypher is just not really used in this map. So we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, on LG side, pretty standard double initiator though. I would love to see a Jetta raise just to take some space on their team from LG defits here. Yeah, there we go.
I really like the Gecko pick here. I really like the Gecko pick a lot here.
I do too, because it's a very safe pick, planter, diffuser. You don't need another person on that while you could both hold for that.
A sixth member, a little guy. And it looks like
So
they're
I
hovering
believe-
over a Gecko on the other team as well.
Yeah. It's gonna be very interesting from High Tide because they don't have an entry duelist. They have a follow-up duelist for the most part. So I wonder how this is gonna play out because they only have Gecko Flash and Omen Flash to really support the Reyna entry. Meanwhile, on LG they have Sky, Gecko, Omen Blight. They have the utils to support the solo entry. So it's gonna be a very interesting game to see how it's gonna go out and play out.
LG has chosen a very default lineup for their agents on this map, and High Tide has come out with something a little bit different. So we're gonna see if default is the way or if you know, making a change and trying something different will come through for High Tide.
Well, let's see as we get into round one, see how they will start playing it out. I'm more worried about High Tide Cypher on defense though. That's, I would say, see how it goes.
All right. Getting set up here to go into round one. KJ Util all spread out all over C. So it looks like that's going to be locked down. Omen hanging out in breakables. We'll see how this goes.
High Tide going fast C here. I don't think they know that KJ's set up with Sky here. Maybe they think it's just a one-person setup here. Walking in, Gecko flash in. Alarm bot gets one. Toss mollies. Kuno Kuma gets two. Oh, can't get the third one though. Meanwhile, Zoo fighting for his life on site. High Tide down in numbers. Also, Cypher's really low.
Cage triggered.
I wonder how they're gonna play this out. If they just go for kills or go for plant. Let's see.
One enemy
Mr.
remaining.
Vic still on
Spike
site, his
down,
default. Getting pinched here. And losing the round. Nice try.
Very nice try. Trying to entry onto that site with all that KJ util is really a really hard feat to take advantage of, especially when they're following up that KJ util with sky flashes and the guns that they have in their hands.
Yeah, I think, again, like I mentioned earlier, the supportive util is just not there to help with the entry on site, and then just getting picked off early there really just, it hurts their team.
Yep, we'll see what they can do on this this eco round.
On round two here, they just seem to be doing the default wall A. Knowing that there's 2-3 here on site.
You did good.
See here, I mean, just LG just doesn't seem to move. Just seem to really have a default setup still. Meanwhile, they're just working it up. High Tide working it up B here. Slowly going up. Maybe they might just explode out once they group everybody up. Meanwhile,
KJ turret
LG
goes down.
Zoo just doesn't know if they're peeking or not. He's just here. Cypher cam goes up. Flash out. Gets one. Nick gets one here. Mr. Vic gets the one in water, and then
remaining.
just everything just falling apart on site.
Just a
Nice
bloodbath.
try.
They flooded into this site so seamlessly. Able to overwhelm the pistols that are in the hands of High Tide.
I don't think that was a bad round from High Tide,
No.
but it was a very, I feel like, lack of communication with Util in order to try to get side and plant down. Even like the smokes could have been down. The other Util to stall out the water push or broken door. Just there's this could have been some type of communication to help out at least secure bomb down for that round. Moving on to round 3 here. Early Gecko raised Util to get some A spy space. Pushing very far up in here and on rubble. Pushed up B main. Nick gets picked off. Seems like they just want to regroup A here. Fight for
A
this.
lot of util coming out here.
Seems like High Tide really just want to fight for this A side still. And OG just seemed to be backing off. Still defaulting. While High Tide pushed out. G-Fist gets one. Wander gets two. And slowly gets traded out there. How will they play this out? High Tide, 1.5 members. Both LG members full on health. Sky
have a
having full
lot of work
util
to
too.
do.
Going for the plant here. Taking up some space. Meanwhile, Dog goes, clears
Spike
out
planted.
util. See if I can find anybody. KJ going heaven. Does
Last
Kuno
player
know?
standing.
Kuno gets picked. It's a pick on Nez. It's all up to Mr. Vic. Gets blinded. Gets thrown another blind. Just playing back, waiting for defuse.
Found them.
Mr. Vic getting caught with alarm bot, and LG just win their bonus round.
Perfect util usage by that Sky to delay that Omen from pushing out and getting any picks.
I evaluated their strategy.
I will say on high tide, this must be pretty demoralizing. You know, if you're a buyout round, you just kind of like have to force something out here. But honestly, very well played by LG. You know, just kind of sticking it out, playing their numbers. Wander getting 2 there was very, very huge for them to secure that round.
Yeah, the gun difference was insane, and they still managed to take that 3rd round into their hands.
See another round here. Are they gonna push up again? No, they just seem to be all going towards B here. KJ turn, we'll spot them here.
Cover going out.
Omen smoking off B main. They have Gecko flash, Reyna flash. Vic unable to get a kill. All of High Tide are now on site.
Blinded. Great
Zoo
blind.
going for a re-dog to go clear back downside. Spots 3 of them.
Spike planted.
Sky going for a flash.
Nobody to follow that,
Seems like,
that flash
oh,
up.
Takes it 3 people. Zoo getting 3.
Oh my goodness.
2v1.
Oh
Zoo getting
my
4.
goodness.
Very, very good round.
With 3 of those headshots, that was
3
impressive
were
from Zoo.
headshots.
Don't even start.
Very, very good round from him. Honestly, I didn't even expect him to get 3 there. Honestly, like
No.
that's very, very good. Man, that again, just I believe the stack where default plan was. I think the 3-man stack there was just a rough play. Like I could see the vision, but it didn't work out. No util, no guns, just a very, very rough round. But you got plant down, so you got plant money. Everybody here seems to have a full buy though, so we seem to have an even round for once.
Yes, I think this is
See
going to
how
be
it
our
goes.
first full gun round for everybody.
Seems like High Tide wanna go up C while they have Viper kind of lurk AB-ish. Let's see. Meanwhile, KJ Sky still on C side here. See what they can do. How they can just take this side and lock it down. Zoo slowly picking up. Gecko ult going in. Reyna ult popped.
Is this
Falling
gonna
back.
be 2?
Kuno.
He only got 1.
Sky ult going out. Kuno getting 1 here. Going through smokes. LG trying to hold on to side. Falling back. Going for retake here. Meanwhile, High Tide stuck in the bottom of elbow. 1 playing out in mount. Slowly is trying to retake the site here. Seems like LG really want this. Just slowly killing. The util is just not enough. One random kid can't hold down the site on himself, and they're just getting peeked by everybody on the team.
High Tide just can't seem to hold on to the site. This flood retake just seems like too much for them. They need to figure something out in order to hold these players back from getting into site.
I believe
Just
this.
enough to get into post plant positions.
I believe the util from LG is very good, and it's the agents that they have very heavily support the retake or even the take of a site. So it's gonna be interesting. I think High Tide especially just has to play like they can't just play and hold side or retake. They gotta push somewhere first, even further, because they don't have the util to really hold down a site. So we'll see going into this next round how they play it out. Wander pushing up with Gecko Flash, Gecko Molly with the Raise Nade. They just seem to always be taking this A space. With the Viper Wall. All this util going out. Seems to get Reyna Flash. Gecko ult again. Seems
Gets
to get
1.
here.
Gets 2.
Gets 2 actually. Wander deep is just holding down A.
Oh, the trades are
Meanwhile,
coming in.
This Nick just getting owned. Omen TPing probably onto C site here. Back of C site. Will KJ know? KJ doesn't seem to know. He thinks he's in their spawn. They think it's an A hit.
There's
they
KJ util here.
Oh, but they don't.
He sees
they
it.
don't-
He sees it.
Yeah, they just think it's an A hit. They have all of C for free. Reyna lurking up B, possibly getting a flank kill here. Meanwhile, Sky making noise.
Enemy remaining.
Now it's just up to Kuno. Will he be able to find this kill onto the airlifts? Yes, he
Oh, what a
does.
shot.
It's a 1v2 situation. Swell, their Omen is one shot. Does have the KJ ult. Time is speeding up here. Getting onto site.
I must wait a moment.
Kuno
Last
finding
player
one.
standing.
Can he get the other?
Time.
He doesn't know.
Well played.
Nice, very nice try from Kuno. Very good try. And High Tide are now on the board. Honestly, that was a very close round though.
I agree. A slow start for Swell, but they managed to get one. Maybe that's just the turning point that they need to start some momentum back into this game.
High Tide off of a very crucial ult here of a Viper ult. If they get sight and lock it down and just put Viper ult, it honestly could change the pace of this entire game.
Well, the difference is
Defense with the op here, holding down A main, not pushing now.
Bomb buddy out.
Will High Tide now realize that they just don't, they're not pushing and they just walk into the op? So far, High Tide just playing very slow, very methodically, just not really pushing up anywhere. Slowly taking B space. Meanwhile, it seems like LG haven't moved from a 2-1-2 setup. Yeah, it seems like High Tide would probably do a B split here. See how it goes. KJ Turret still doesn't know. There's an off shot down on A.
Play off of this
They
KJ.
know where they are. Slowly pushing up A. Reyna is pushing up. Onto site. Do they know though? Does LG know? LG doesn't seem to know that the Reyna's on site, and then Reyna gets traded out. They're flying onto B now. Skydog going out on B. Turret's still there. Swinging out. Will they? Nick finding one, not getting the kill. Finally getting the kill now. On to two in the corner of the site. Defense with the op. Can he get one here? Defense misses the op shot here.
Has to get out. KJ.
Kuno.
Ult is
It's
up.
another 1v2 situation.
Is clear.
Omen very low. Will he be able to find this kill on Nez? Playing back. I think he might be just saving here.
The economy
Real-
on the other team, on LG. He may need to save to buy next round.
High Tide having a very good cross placement, just falling back now, not having time to defuse. This is another round going to High Tide. Honestly, very well played.
Unable to save that gun. You're gonna be on an awkward buy, it looks like, for
Right
this
there.
next round.
Pero like, why can't we
It's a
just
very well played plan by High
ancient
Tide.
Midianite?
It was a little bit rough at first, but they brought it back.
Yes, like I
slowly.
said, something had to change. Some momentum had to change for High Tide to be able to get back in this game, and maybe that one round on the board was the turning point. Because that's two in a row
so.
now. See if they can keep it going. We do have an Omen ult on the side of LG, and a Viper's Pit could be very useful on the side of High Tide.
Omen immediately one-waying C site. Seems like Omen's pushing up on Mound. But High Tide hasn't moved at all from C.
They don't want to mess with
See
that
how they
one
go.
way.
Nick one-waying it again, seems like. Spying time here. Oh, misses the one-way. See here, all of High Tide regrouping back B main here. KJ is set up on B here though this time. See how it goes.
KJ Util
They-
and two players on B.
They smoked off the turret. That's honestly very good, but it seems like they're going back on C here. Nick very up. Will he be able to get one here at least?
Clear it.
Oh, Nick gets
Timing.
cleared. Timing of the smokes, just very unlucky. High Tide doesn't seem to really go for a sight right here. Boom, flashes in, cams in, finally taking space on sight. Blind from elbow. Sky is on sight.
Seconds left.
Main picked off.
I know exactly where you are.
It's a 2v4 situation here. Let's see what they LG can do to bring this back. Ray's
Last
peeking
player
water here, getting
standing.
picked off. The last Wander in CT. Just in a 1v4
Airlifts with
situation.
4
Very
of them that
unlucky.
round. Airlift's coming in clutch there for his team, just getting him on site, pushing up, taking space through waterfall. Very well played.
I think High Tide's slow tempo of just working the map a little bit, just little by little, kind of keeping LG on their toes is working very much in their favor.
Might be making LG a little off put, a little nervous, not knowing when and where they're gonna push.
Very much so. Seems like they're gonna go back to the standard 1-3-1, 1-2-1-2 setup here by pushing A main here.
Mosh pit.
Slowly walking up A main. Also taking C site here. All High Tide, most of High Tide grouped up A main here. Having Viper and the bomb going mid here.
LG's taking
Blinding
up a lot of
out,
map space.
taking Rubble. They have Rubble. Blinding out from Broken.
Get him, wingman.
A lot of Yuto going out. Seem to know where this Gecko is. Stuck in this corner by himself. Sky flash out. Wander gets the
Perfect
trade.
sky flash.
Spike
Meanwhile,
down.
B seems like open door just really put him in a pinch here. In a 2v3 situation, High Tide still has Viper here, so they can make something happen. Zoo getting tagged up. Wonder what High Tide how are going to play this out. They have Viper ults. LG seemingly still just playing their ones here. Regrouping B main here. They know that this Omen is behind this box. They're shooting through the box. Peeks, gets one, gets two.
Oh no.
Very good
Just
round
the
from
timing. Unfortunate timing once again there, but great round by LG just to take away some of that momentum that I said that High Tide was building up.
LG.
Now we've got a lot of ults online for both teams. Useful ults too. We'll see. See what they can do with them in order to
feel like
secure the round.
LG switching up, putting the KJ on B is really costing them. I think they should just keep the KJ on C.
Here.
But we'll see how this keeps going on for them. Meanwhile, High Tide doing a 3-2 setup here. Opening door on A site. Taking space on C2. 4 grouped up A main here. Gecko sees nothing.
Blinded.
Arena blind out, Omen blind out. Gecko flash. Bunch of util invested. Take back A space here.
Here.
Like you said, that's a lot of util gone in the first 20 seconds of the round.
See, both members grouped up A main here. Airless gets one. They start taking space upstairs. Smoke goes out. Omen ult goes out.
Grenade.
Does Defits know that there's one on stairs here? Nope, he does not. He gets traded for it.
Reyna
Meanwhile,
killed. Spike
High Tide
planted.
on site now. Bombs down.
One enemy remaining.
Wander gets one. 6 very far away from bomb.
Man.
I don't think he'll have time for this at all. Indeed, he does not have time. Just planning on saving.
I think that was just a little bit of an overheat by Airlifts there. He pushed all the way into CT there. Or not CT, sorry, into the defensive side and just didn't clear his left-hand side, and that KJ was able to just shoot him in the back of the head, securing the round.
Very well played by LG there. I think there's a bit of a miscommunication going on High Tide side with a Viper seemingly
lurk
on B
was
site. Very, very, very late lurk. See now going to the next round, taking some B space here. All of High Tide going up on this onto C here. AJ is set up C.
Stealing sight.
Omen blind goes out. Gecko ult goes out. Seemingly taking sight for free here. Not knowing that the KJ fell back in the water, so they're playing full retake here. KJ getting one with the molly. Yeah, let's play LG going on their flank.
Huge Viper's
Also
pick
on the
coming out
flank.
here.
Getting crunched here. How will High Tide react to this pinch? Dez getting one mound, getting stunned. getting traded off here. On site, Zoo getting picked up from Waterfall.
Last player standing.
Kuno getting another. Just 6 out of his ult. The Cans team to get one. Very, very well played retake by LG here.
That was a great retake, and I don't think they used a single ult in order to do that.
I
It was
don't
just the
believe so
pinch
either.
from flank came in,
Last round
perfectly
in the
timed,
half.
overwhelming them from every entry point.
Yeah.
Nothing to
Again.
hold them back.
Again, the utility usage just isn't there for you to hold down the site, so just taking some type of space somewhere would have really helped out the chances of winning that round. But unfortunately, they just seemed to play within the Viper ults and really costed him there in that round. Final round coming up here. Seemingly a 3-1-1 setup here. Waiting at the early utility fits with the op in a very uncommon angle. Finds Mr. Vic, but can't get the shot off. Gets out of there.
Go get him.
A madman for repeaking that.
4 on A. Gecko lurking up B here, trying to find maybe a kill here. Oh, seems like they want to just back off. Just play it slow. Maybe go up C here with bomb here. LG still haven't moved. Meanwhile, High Tide grouping up C here, it seems like. They want to go for a C hit. Early util invested onto A. Finds out someone is there. But High Tide grouping up C here into the KJ. Be a very interesting play. Gecko invested. Taking A space back.
30
Doesn't seem
seconds
like to
left.
find anyone there. On C, Kuno getting a kill. Finds a kill half across the map. All of High Tide now pinched. They commit A. Seems like Viper wants to take A space here. Gets punished for it. Meanwhile, Reyna taking B space and the
10
other two
seconds
players seemingly taking base.
There's no time.
They have no time to plan. This round it's over. Sadly. And the half ends at a 9-3.
Switching
Well,
sides.
Let's hope that the 9-3 curse actually is, a thing, so
I think this game will get a little bit closer. I think that High Tide just needs to figure something out that's going to disrupt this apparent synergy between this LG team. And let's see if they can do it on the defensive half. They have the Cypher and the Viper, which I think are going to be very useful for them on their defense compared to what was the defensive comp of LG.
KJ.
Yep. The KJ is very good on this map, but I think Viper and Cypher here, I think it'll help them get a few rounds.
It could possibly work out, but let's see how the round plays out. LG grouped up C with a lurk onto A here. Pushing out fast onto C. Mauling the Cypher off. Raised on site already. Getting stuck into trip. Gets one. Playing back in bend here. Flash. Can't get the other. LG half site. Kuno getting another. Taking LG. Now planning spike. Seems like Omen is very
Huge lurk.
confused.
A huge lurk, it would appear.
Meanwhile, High Tide pinching the last two players onto the site.
They're not
And
going to be
he-
aware
and
of
they
this
left.
Omen coming in.
Airlift's getting one. Can't get the other. Zoo, 53 HP. Wingman
Last
out.
player
Can't get the
standing.
kill. And it seems like it's all up to Nick. Not planted for him in any way. Now has to start making noise, giving away his position. Can he find timing? Nope. And he loses the round. High Tide, very, very well played.
A great retake by High Tide. I thought the entry onto the site was flawless for LG. A lot of great util in order to get that Cypher off of his line. They
Indeed.
sky flashed in to kill the other person that was coming out of Waterfall, but then they just could not hold it down. They couldn't hold the flood retake by High Tide.
Seems like the communication with the lurker was very off. I don't think he expected the plant to go down that fast. See in this next round, Hall of LG grouped up A main here. Smoking off stairs. Taking Rubble space. Seems like they want this here. Omen smoked them off. Raze covering the smoke. Going into the smoke. Taking sight. A very fast take on the eco round. However, Airless and 6 seemingly hold it down. Defense gets 1. Defense very low. Mr. Vic finding 1 on Nick. Zoo finding airlifts onto the site. And now it's a 3v2 on High Tide. However, they do have guns here. 1 dropping mount here. 2 dropping. Finds 1. Nez finds 1. Nez finds 2.
Nez coming in there clutch at the end there. I thought it was going the way of LG for a moment when the Sky was looking in around backside. Very, very back and forth on that take there.
Seems like LG has a way to get into sight, but just can't really hold it down. Same kind of problem they had with High Tide.
Exactly, it was the same kind of problem. So we're only 4 rounds difference between these two teams now. And see if High Tide can keep up with this. I believe LG is going to have a little bit of an eco advantage on this round.
I believe
See if they
so.
can pull it off.
LG resorting to a default. Omen's TPing into Mound. Wow. Airless finds 1. Ults. Input. Dismisses for peek. Those ones there. Falls back. Airlift's going aggressive here. Camp finds 1. Another.
Hits the overhill.
Now, High Tide has this very strong mid pressure here. Splitting up their team in half. Airlifts can't find another. And seems like LG has taken back mid their spawn. And now Omen's pushing up A here. Seemingly trying to find the site for his team. Omen smoking off site, making a lot of noise. Don't know if Nuz is there. Smoke waiting for them. Does he find 1 here? Nez can't seem to find 1 and just can't seem to get another one. The 2v1 situation on High Tide. See how it goes. Omen, this is very much giving ones with their positioning. Let's see how a random kid can play this. Has a very good gun too. Slowly walking up to A heaven here. Omen smoke stairs. Does not clear pit. Slowly goes down ropes. Omen has a very good timing and just gets picked off.
Honestly, not a bad eco. Round 4, High Tide. They got 3 guns out of their hands. And Airlift's got really aggressive there. Use his ult.
I love the play by High Tide. I just don't think the communication with the second person he was playing with was right there. I mean, they both could have swung together. Yeah. LG going to a 2-3 setup here. Bomb going on C site. No one on C site on High Tide side. Omen TPing back Rubble here. Cypher setup onto A.
Toxins going up.
They just want to default take A and C space here. Omen puts very far up here.
This is a crazy Cypher setup.
Not going into the site though. Both teams just taking their time. Meanwhile, LG kind of falling back from C. Start. Omen smoking off stairs here. Gecko flash and hits nothing here.
I must wait a moment.
The Cypher finds 1.
Here.
Seems like LG are regrouping back into A here.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like they want to site hit onto the A. 6. How will he play this out? Getting surrounded with util. Gets a Cypher trip. Elif seems to get 1. Falls back. Wonder get another. Elif and Nez getting 2. Mr. Vic finding 1. Now it's all left to the Sky on LG, and seems like he can't really do much here.
A great retake once again. Well, not even a retake. They couldn't even get the bomb down. Like I said, that Cypher setup was pretty crazy there. It effectively saved the Viper's life once they killed that Gecko ult coming in around backside to them. The trips just saved them for a minute in order to get one. Unfortunately falling when the rest of the team flooded in, but then his team was already there to back him up.
Seems like the Cypher is really honestly paying off.
It is.
I doubted it. Seems like High Tide want to, or not High Tide, LG want to go a fast B here with their very light buy. Omen blind, Raise util going out, walls going up, plans going down, but denied. Vic TPing on site and dying. Mr. Vic getting killed, traded. The Gecko getting two here.
One enemy remaining.
And now to Zoo, and Zoo just can't seem to find anything. Very fast round.
A fantastic Gecko ult. Gets two there, free kills for his team.
Sorry.
Defense
Timeout
calling a
is in.
timeout. They must be feeling the pressure. This was a very strong 9-3 half for them.
I said
Now
earlier.
it's 10-7.
I said earlier, High Tide needed to figure something out in order to really throw off what I said was synergy between the LG team, because in the first half their util was insane and they worked off of each other. They were getting their trades, but something has happened. And High Tide is coming back from this 9-3 at the half. Now it's magically 3 rounds separating them. 10
I'm
to
gonna
7.
Use some of this halftime time to kind of play out how it's kind of going. So LG seems to just kind of funnel into like one site. It seems like, but it's like the Cypher and just Viper, the util was just, it's very strong to deny the push, and it just seems like LG might sometimes take the site, but it gets very punished by like losing 1 or 2 key members. And then High Tide playing retake, playing it very well with the Gecko util, Omen blind. Just seems like LG just need to find some sort of grip onto a site and hold it.
Nick is coming into his own, calling a pretty good game here on this defensive half.
Very much so. Seems like LG hasn't really switched it up, going back to a 3-2 setup. Meanwhile, High Tide going back to a default. See, Omen TPing into Rubble. Cypher set up on A. Meanwhile, Airlift's pushing up Mound here. Just left alone now. This is very bad if he gets picked off here. To 3 people. Airlift's finding one, dismisses. Gecko flash. It's broken. Airlift seemingly trying to get for another, gets another.
How does he
Seems
get
like
away with it?
LG running away, going towards A. Omen's pushed up, needs to start taking some more space here.
Shadows traveling.
See now. Omen smokes stairs, smokes heaven. Seems like they want to commit on this site.
Blinding.
Omen blinding onto site. 6 on here. The trip, getting off the trip, gets 1. Can't find the other.
Spike planted.
3-man planning. Random kid. Can he find it? No, he cannot. Now it's a 2v3. Defense has a very crazy timing. Gets 1.
Player standing.
Can't get the other.
Gets the kill.
Gecko ult from Wonder. It's a 2v1. Very winnable round. Just can't seem to find the kills. Very good round from High Tide.
That flick from Nez to get defense off of Rubble there, off the top of Rubble. It's pretty crazy. I was expecting
Honestly.
defense to get 2 or 3 there. Maybe all 3, but Nez said no. Nez was not having it.
Clearly was not happy with defense being on top of Rubble. Let's see now. LG have 4 ults to play off of, while High Tide very close to every single ult on this. So this ult economy could be very much game-changing for both High Tide and LG if used properly. LG on a light buy.
They're very broke this round. So they do have a Marshall and a Spectre coming in. See if they can hero rifle this round their
Seems
way.
like LG wants to go for a fast C hit here. Airlifts holding it down with the Gecko Flash. Gecko Flash getting 3. Airlifts popping Gecko Reina ult. Defense can't find it.
You should know you're trying.
KJ ult is expended. Nez getting one with Molly. Seems like Airless is dedicated to holding sight down. Falls back now, is going to get
Gonna get
detained.
detained.
Away.
Flash out onto sight, taking fight space. 4v5 situation, numbers of Swell. Plant going down. One random kid.
Spike
Ooh.
planted.
Nez finding one. Defits peeking, trying to find another for his team.
Saw you, little homie.
Gecko all committed. Getting defits. Wanderer getting swarmed here.
Last
Kuno getting
player
one.
standing.
Mr. Vic finding the trade. Wanderer just can't seem to really do much there. Getting pinched and surrounded by the whole team.
Just unable to
good
do
round.
anything with
Wingman
that
for the win.
overwhelming util usage. And LG used, I would say, 80% of their util in the first, 30 seconds of that round. So they had nothing. Nothing to hold back that retake. And they had no economy for guns, so...
A KJ ult was burned. The Sky ult was burned. The
Right.
Raze ult was burned. All that burn was High Tide, was the Gecko Reyna ults.
Right.
This is very, very harsh on LG's ult economy. Let's see if they can win this round and trying to get a foothold into the game. Setting up on a default, deeping into rubble. Airlifts on B site. Slowly taking space. Can take contact with this KJ turret. Omen taking up space on A. Seems like LG just don't really know what to do. Airlifts gets one, can't get another. Gets traded here. Seems like LG finds a site on A. A is completely free to them. And now High Tide have to play a complete retake here. Ray's pushed up to drop. Seems like Gecko going for the plant. Seems like they're just going to try to hold site, not really take space, not knowing that they have all of site for free. Ominal getting invested into tree, gets broken.
Valuable information, though. They
Seems
know
like-
that there's gonna be two there.
Seems like they just want to take some space up there in heaven. Gecko Flash getting committed. Doesn't see the raise. Finds one. Nez and Mr. Vic finding the trade though. 2v2. Mr. Vic TPing onto site. Knows where one is.
Cover going out.
Just isolating these fights. Very good on him.
Player
But
standing.
can't seem to get the kill. Does he know Gecko's on the site? It's like Nez is going for the save, but the KJ might have the timing here. And he does. Very good round by LG, getting a foot into the game finally.
Unfortunately, High Tide put themselves in untradeable positions there. Airlift pushing out of B main by himself. Getting one, yes. But maybe could have gotten more if somebody pushed out with him. And the same thing, something else happened, I believe, on the A site, where they just put themselves in an untradeable position. And then suddenly they're in a 3v5.
I feel like Airlift's pushing B very aggressively that round kind of costed him. He is their top fragger, and just losing that potential of a player early into the round very costed them. Gecko Flash going out up to the C side here. Airlift's not peeking out, respecting that they're pushing. Actually, blinds out. All of LG seem to kind of want to go for a B hit here, knowing Airlift that is on C here. They might want to go for a B hit. Omen taking space. The team's going A. Seems like they want to go for an A hit while Omen just lurks.
Oh yeah, monster on the loose.
Gecko committed onto the A side take here. Six getting picked off in tree. Finding the Cypher. Detained onto the site. All A is theirs for free. Snick getting a pick onto Airlift's picking door. Dez getting tagged by Rave Molly.
Spike planted.
Defits on top of the box. And while Sky's also pushed up, getting killed.
One
Seems like
enemy remaining.
the Nick just was, they weren't expecting this lurk up to be, and Mr. Vic gets one. Blinding up heaven. Wanderer seemingly wants to go for a flank. Dropped into... And seems like Mr. Vic just could not find a single person.
Match point.
Unfortunate that yet again another Gecko ult comes out and just detained that one kid. It's that one random kid, sorry. Detains him back sight and effectively just gives up all of A sight with that Gecko ult.
Very much so.
Very well executed. I feel like there's been a Gecko ult every other round this match.
I feel like the Gecko ults here are just very important. That's where like
Right.
most of the rounds wins come from. But we'll see here. 6 going from maybe an A aggression here. Nick TPing on top of Root. Seemingly falling back a little bit. Pushing A. 4-man push A here. What will LG do to respond to it? They're going to go fight it. Nick finding one. 16 to train. Nick getting another.
3v4. All
Nick
of a sudden.
getting traded out for Mr. Vic. Still holding down A. After airlifts, finding a flame onto C.
Cutting their vision.
Using both blinds. It's like Gecko's in B. And Zoo just gets the pick onto airlifts. Practically all of B and C are theirs. I think they know that because airlifts pushed so far up that he had to give all that up.
I believe they saw both of these players on A, so they just know.
Spike wings.
C is gonna be wide open.
Saw you, Mosh.
LG using util. Zone some space
Spike
out.
planted.
Meanwhile, High Tide regrouping and trying to retake this site together. Meanwhile, Sky and Gecko pushed into CT here. Will they notice?
One enemy remaining.
Wonder game both and just LG win this
Attackers
first
win.
map.
GG's. Just an overwhelming display of util towards the end there by LG. They just really worked well together as a team. It took
Second
them a
half,
minute in the second half, but they pulled it together. I think
Very
they
much
won
so.
4 or 5 rounds in a row there at the end.
Yeah, it was very much a 3-9. But it looked very much like a comeback, but seems like they just couldn't really keep that momentum going and just lost the last 2-3 rounds. Very unlucky.
It was a lot of aggro coming from High Tide on their defensive half. I think
Very
that had
much so.
a lot to do with it.
Very much so. I believe if they just played the Reyna didn't push just as much up, I believe they could have actually taken this to overtime. Just possibly.
Overall, I think it was a very close, good game though. I liked
Very.
I liked a lot of what I saw, and like I said before the map, I really love the Gecko pick on this map, and the Geckos were coming in clutch for both teams. Great game out of
Very
them.
much so. And we'll be back.
All right, looks like we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and we'll see you guys back here for Ascent. These two teams.
The way that you make me feel like I've never been felt before. When look in your eyes, I found the one I've been waiting for. I'm feeling electric.
Welcome back in for this matchup between LG and Swell. Or, sorry, LG Pink Azalea and High Tide Swell. To be correct. It looks like we're going to be going into Ascent just after that Lotus game. It was a action-packed game. Full of util and crazy plays and backstabs and flanks all over the place. So I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen on this really mostly even match of Ascent. I
It'll be
think
very interesting. I think a standard comp for the prospect is probably not going to happen. I might just see some like Reyna's, yours, like, you know, Chamber, just something very out of pocket, and
I'm
I
looking
won't be
forward to
expecting to it. Yeah,
should be a fun matchup. That first game was fun. It's just
first
a
game was
lot of
very
aggression
interesting. Yes,
from both sides.
from both sides. Yeah. Because the Reyna just seems to like push up C or B, take space, gets one, maybe even two, and then just gets traded for it, which I think hurts because every time he pushed out onto a site, the site was basically left empty. Like they rotated out because they had the Reyna hold down A or B site.
We can't
and
really
then-
say much though when he went 26 and 19.
That is very
He's-
true.
Still unable to pull his team through, but
Very
he was
good.
fragging.
Very good map one for him too, and also beginning of the season. So I am very hyped to see how this will continue for him throughout the season. Will he just be better and the team builds up around him, or we'll see. We'll see.
I want to see some cringy Sova stuff going on here.
Oh no.
It's my favorite thing on this map, so I hope it happens.
I hope not, if anything, because I don't like the cringy Sova
I
things that
wanna
happen
see
on
it.
this map. So let's
All right. We're getting the players ready into this game. Gonna go head into agent select now.
seems like High Tide having a breach and a cipher again, very unusual, but I can respect it. It worked out. The cipher pick worked out really well for him, not that bad last game. LG so far looking like a default comp.
I think it's so funny, Nez hovering another initiator, and he said before he learned how to play initiator, what was it, a day before preseason, I believe?
Oh,
So let's look into it. It looks like they're hovering over 2 initiators though. I don't think Breach is played very often on this site, so it's gonna be very interesting.
I don't think Breach gets played very much either, but there is a lot of potential for trap setups with Breach ult and Breach stun. So I am very interested to see how High Tide will utilize Breach util onto this map. Meanwhile,
It's
it
not
seems like
looking
LG. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, it's not looking like I'm gonna get my wish of some cringy Sova things, but there's still a possibility for some Odin things.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get my wish, it looks like.
It's very interesting because Sky getting played onto the set with the KO is very interesting. I would rather, from my perspective, prefer the Sova because the agent utility is just so strong. With his dart, his ult, his drone, it's just very strong overall. LG locking in their roster. It looks pretty default just with the Sky. So
Yep. A very non-standard comp coming out from High Tide's side once again, and I'm really hoping it works out for them. Sort of like it was working out for them in the second half of that game, but of the first game, but couldn't hold on. Let's see if they can hold on
couldn't
this
seem
time.
to pull with it. Let's see. High Tide have a very good comp in my opinion with the Breach. I think the Breach is very useful if they have set plays. Who knows? Maybe they had time to, and during preseason, has made up a set play, team coordination, team play stuff, trap plays, even like on the defense, maybe even on the offense. But we'll see how the Breach will be utilized going into the game.
It's going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. All these teams set up.
I will note that the breach does come at a cost with no information. So unlike the Sky, the KO, the Sova. So I am going to be very interested to see how this will work out.
All right, we're going to go into a hype video, and we'll be right back for the game.
Alrighty. Seems like LG has kind of like a default setup. One initiator, both sides, KJ onto the B side, and the Omen playing onto A, surprisingly. Very interesting choice here.
I don't mind the stack.
Meanwhile, High Tide seemingly just want to go into A site, just 5-man run it, funnel it down into A, knowing probably that the KJ will be setting up B.
They're gonna need to rely on this jet util a lot. High Tide will, in order to get onto this site. They've got, unless the breach doesn't buy them, but the breach flashes are very useful when it comes to spamming through that A wall right there.
Seems like Jet wants to get an early peek into A main here, trying to get a kill here, finding a pick for his team early on. Dashes out. Wonder, can't seem to find anything with knife. Seemingly hovering, rotating to A. Meanwhile, High Tide getting onto side of A. Omen blind going out. KO knife going out as well. High Tide, the KO going onto the dice. Flash going out. Gets one. Just finds one on switch. Gets another on main. Gets traded out by Mr. Vic.
Managed to close the door.
LG playing full retake here now. What will High Tide do? This situation, KO in hell. One by switch. Nez getting one on by Jen. Doesn't know that there's one heaven. Gets killed. And Zook and Mr. Vic just can't seem to find a single one in heaven. KJ was
Too
very
many
low
options
though.
to choose from. Too
Very
many
much
options.
Very
It was a
well
nice
played.
try. They did manage to get onto site.
They managed to get on site. I think they just got pressured because the retake from LG was just, they weren't expecting this jet to swing out heaven and or whoever to swing out heaven and get the person switch and main. It's very well played. Meanwhile, High Tide now grouping up. Seems to be tiles here. They want to smoke off Cat and deep mid. Go for a market split here. KO knifing top mid A. That's like Wally's bottom mid. Dash updraft. Marilys flashing. Seems to get one. And the blind going out. Slowly being one. Gets another. Gets traded out by Nez. Sue hiding in the smoke. Kuno finding one. Gets one. Sky
One enemy
seemingly
remaining.
holding this thing. Defits getting another. And then Zoo just gets the final kill onto 6.
Just absolutely nothing High Tide could do there. They were sitting in a fishbowl, it seemed like.
Seems like they wanted to push out, but seems like they knew that once they figured out that the KJ was set up B, they couldn't really pull their punches like they wanted to.
No.
See how this goes. Seems like they want to go back into the B main where this KJ is set up. Very interesting. I will say, if the KO knife does find KJ, this will possibly be just a free site take. Walking up into B main here. KO knife gets nothing. KO knife got the KJ. Now will they explode out onto site like as planned? Feels like the smokes are both going out. Smoked off main. Now getting out. Updraft into side. Getting one on Kuno. Mr. Vic finding two somewhere. High Tide have full site control. LG regrouping mid, it seems like.
Planted.
Vic's 1
up.
HP. Let's see. Maybe 5 HP. One shot to the body and he's done.
Both grouped up market here. Smoked off market. Has the KO knife. Throws KO knife through market. Not getting... Gets 2 actually. TP'd into boat. Or not boat. Switch.
Last
Nick
player
can't
standing.
seem to connect his shots. Wanderer gets 1, but Airless finds the trade onto Wander.
Honestly, a great bonus by LG. They managed to get 3 or 2 guns out of the hands of High Tide.
Also, a very good round by High Tide, noticing that the KJ knife hit, or the KO knife hit the KJ, and then just seems to get the util down to hit onto the site. So very
going
good
to be
reaction off that.
A very good counter to that KJ for this whole game.
Indeed, KJ seems like wants to set back up B again. Has a pretty standard default setup. KO knife going to tiles, pushing down into mid tiles here. KO Molly going into tiles. Meanwhile, Itai pushing into A main here. Defense with the op here, getting smoked off. Will he peek out of the smoke? He peeks out of the smoke. Can't find one. You two all going out. KO out going out from LG. Forcing High Tide back. Maybe just rotating off of A even here.
High Tide on the
Nick
full
finding
retreat.
one here. Just can't seem to get a kill though. Noticing that they're all rotating off of B main here. What will LG do to respond to this? Seems like they want to take some mid space here even. Smoke going into tiles. Smoke bottom mid. Knowing that the op is bottom mid, rotating onto A here. Meanwhile, High Tide regrouping for the A main hit. Clearing line. Omen Blind going out. Skydog catching one here. Nick getting one, getting traded though right after. Defense on the heaven with op. Nez getting one, misses the op shot. Wonder if it's or Mr. Vic gets picks off defense with the heaven. Wonder finding another. Getting another one as well. Does he know this one's Jen though? See, gets the one on by Jen. One random kid now in hell.
Oh, they know he's here now.
My camera is destroyed.
Wonder sticking to the fuse. Kuno just seems to find one random kid, and the round goes to LG.
A nice try by High Tide, but once again, LG's retake is just too much for them. I think that instantly breaking the door there was the correct play to do. He was able to pick off the breach that was hanging out, just stuck by Switch there.
Alarm bot out.
LG investing the KO ult to prevent them getting onto B side and forcing High Tide to go basically all the way A, where they pretty much were running into a 3-man setup there. It's a very good play by them.
High Tide do have a KO ult here and an Omen ult.
Placing sentry.
This might
Seems
be
like
a
they-
fast play to whatever site they're gonna go to.
Seems like they want to do a mid A split here. KO knife going out, both smokes going down from both these. One weight off of A main. Wonder finding one top mid, volleying it off. Defense getting a pick off Cat here. 6 peeking a one way. Gets punished for it.
Flashbang.
Seems like KO and Cypher are just stuck in A main. Meanwhile, LG sort of taking some space mid here. KJ on backside B. What will one random kid do? Seems like he wants to try to get orb here. Not knowing the smoke's going down, Defense gets one random kid here and gets the third for the round win.
Defense's op shots finally landing. Able to get, did he get 2 or 3 that round?
He got 3 that round.
3, quite a lot with the op. Coming in clutch. High Tide should be able to buy this round. We're gonna have a full gun round again. And we'll see if they can once again try to claw themselves back into this game.
Looks like we're having a tech pause, and Nez is having some technical issues. So, is there anything you want to talk about so far, Eagles, about how this is playing out?
I think on the side of LG, they're playing everything the way that they should. Obviously, they're winning the rounds. For High Tide, I think that they maybe should slow it down a little bit, try to play for more picks, play tradable angles. They're just peeking in, giving, I think they gave 2 free op shots in the, I think the first 20 seconds of the round that time. Knowing the op was there, they just kept swinging it. So
I
maybe
agree. I think
just swing it together.
Yeah,
Try to get
I
the trade.
agree. I agree. I think High Tide just have to kind of start defaulting, taking it slow, finding out where this offer is, and kind of just either group up, use a bunch of util to get him off the angle, or just hit the complete opposite side of the op, because I feel like this op is too much pressure for them, and they're just not knowing what to do.
They have to find a way to counter this operator. That's going to be the turning point of this game, I think.
I believe so too. This op on defense, especially knowing that how long he's played in the league, he is very dangerous. Speaking of which, I believe the game has started. I believe so. I guess we're having technical issues on our own now at this point, so I'll just fill you on what's happening. Defense finds a kill. Wanderer gets a kill onto tiles here. Zoo finding pressure into mid as well. Last two players of High Tide seeming to get stuck on B main here. Vine going out. Sky Dog invested as well. Brandon went getting one. Zoo gets one as well. Seems.
Just runs out of bullets.
We didn't get to see what happened at the beginning of that round, but it seems like they just wanted to group up B and they just got counter pressured because they just started pushing out of B and through mid, and it just seems to kind of fell apart from there.
It was a bit of chaos. I think that LG read it just correctly. They somehow, I think it was the KO knife. They got 2 or 3 of them with that KO knife in the beginning, and then they just flooded into the B lobby area.
Nick wanted to go for a one-way smoke here by himself, peeking this. It's gonna be very interesting. High Tide respecting the one-way here. Defense peeking out of B main. Knowing that nothing's here, will LG just completely rotate onto A? Seems like High Tide just want to go through their spawn, go towards B side, but defense pushed very far up into B lobby. Smoke going down bottom mid. Defense trying to find a weird angle, not knowing he's here. Finds one, can't get out. Defense dropping the op for airlifts. Cypher all going out. They'll know that they're basically stacked, almost all of them towards B. KO knife going out. Omen ults onto B site. Will they leave or will they commit onto this A site? All of LG is now on this site. Seems like Omen wants to TP onto A with bomb. Airlifts finds one and immediately backs up and leaves. Planting goes down on A.
All by himself.
Spike planted.
Just gonna have to
See
hold
how this round
down.
plays out. All of LG rotating out. Meanwhile, seems like High Tide are very split up.
2 lurkers, it looks like, on the side of High Tide.
Only person on site seems to be the Omen. Let's see how this Mr. Vic plays this out. Sky
Nick
flashing his own
clears
teammate.
Nez.
Nick getting 2 here. Last 2 players going up heaven here.
They know they're both here. They're just gonna stick it.
The bomb. Yep. A very interesting round on the side of High Tide. Don't really think they thought that through with the Omen ult onto A. Maybe a lack of communication or something on their part.
Potentially.
But very good round by LG.
I think they just, if they're gonna have a lurker like that, they need to be moving faster, knowing that their Omen is on site all by themselves, but it's all right. 7th round. We're gonna see if High Tide can do something to mitigate this
Very
up.
strong ults here. The Breach and KO ult could shut down the KJ, or even people who are on side. Defense holding tiles with the op. Dash prepped. Seems to just tell an op shot. They know where the op is now. Seemingly, High Tide just want to play this very slowly, doing like a 1-3-1 setup. Meanwhile, LG just haven't really moved. Smoke goes out bottom mid. Dick and Wine here. Nez finding that hill onto the opper. Jet pushed up very far. Zoo gets 1 here. Seems to want to fall back here.
Getting caught with util out again.
Push up very far up. Nick now knows there's 1 A main. However, 3 bottom mid. 6 falling back out. High Tide pushed up mid. Bottom mid here. Seems like LG don't really want to, you know, switch it up, trying to do anything. They're just staying their ground.
They don't need to switch it up. 6 to 1.
Pushing up. into market, remarket here.
30
Meanwhile,
seconds
Breach's
left.
top mid gets a pill
Bomb grenade
pick
out.
onto the sky,
Turrets
pushing
destroyed.
out of market. Okay, oh, going out. Kuno finding one. Can't seem to get another. Gets traded. Mr. Vic very low. On site now. Has the bomb. LG can't get this res off the KO, so it'll be a 2v1 situation with the Breach ults.
Last player standing.
How will Nick play this out?
One enemy remaining.
Finds one.
Mr. Vic
Seems
is
like
very
Mr.
low.
Vic yes, very low. He has blind. Blind is utilized. This is planted for possibly a market plant, but going lane instead.
He just barely gets out of the way from that
Mr.
spam.
Vic trying to go into the lane, but stairs, but just couldn't find the right timing. Around goes to LG.
A nice try by High Tide. I thought they had a chance there.
Honestly,
Just
thought
gets
Nick
timing.
would get the kill onto Mr. Vic through the wall there. I was very
Yeah.
surprised when he just decided to move when he did.
They managed to get the op out
That is
very
true.
early in the round, but couldn't do anything about it. Ended up in a 2v2.
Seems
the
like
end.
High Tide just positions where to just give ones there is very, very unfortunate for them.
And LG's
However,
playing
High
a great
Tide-
defensive half.
Seems like they just want to commit the KO ult onto B side because of this KJ and just take the space. Slowly working up B main here. KJ setup is for main here. Breach ult and KO ult going out, taking all of sight. Breach aftershock going down. And sight is all theirs. Airlifts trying to take more space here. Wonder
Oh,
gets
my
two
goodness.
here. Very, very bad for them here. High Tide in a very difficult situation now. Nick pushing up tiles here. KJ ult for the retake. They still have some space to work with. Mr. Vic finds one. Gets traded though. And seems like Nick they have just pinched here. High Tide are just
One
stuck on
enemy
the site.
remaining.
Nez finding
He can
trying
only
to
be
get
one
stair, but can't
place.
pick. And brought all of LG onto site. Raymond the Kid finds one, finds two. Can't get the third. And another round towards LG.
Nice try. A fantastic KJ ult, honestly. It left
As a unit.
it left everybody scrambling.
Last thing I need is
I
some
will say
hero messing things up.
the two picks from market, that was very detrimental towards High Tide. I don't if they lose two key members there, just trying to over aggress into market, and it just seems like LG just had a very, very solid just retake after that. However, it seems like High Tide going back to A main here. Jet nice block from Defits. 6 jump
Really
spike.
aggression.
Jet stun goes out. 6 can't. Defense can't find one. 6 gets the kill.
I know
6
exactly.
smoking main off. Skydog's invested. They know where everybody is now. They seem to be canceling their hit. Knowing that the KJ is alone onto B side, they seem to just want to go to B site. KO pushed up here. Gets traded. Gets picked off here. They still seem to want to go to B side. I think they think this KJ is still alone onto the site. Running up B main here. KO knife invested. Smoke
Two
market.
players here, all of this.
Jet updraft dash onto site. Team still on B main here. Denied because of KJ used it. Kuno getting picked off from switch here.
One less.
Zoo finds one on
planted.
switch. They know one's on stairs. All of them are on site. This is a complete retake. Airless finding Wonder. Zoo on lane here. Getting
Last player standing.
picked off from Airlifts again. And then Airlifts finds the third. And round goes to High Tide.
Right. We're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. That was a great take by High Tide. Airlift's just once again trying to come in clutch for his team. Gets 3. Pulls the point across the board. Still looking. Hopefully we can pull this through to a 8-4 half. Make it a little interesting. Keep going.
pretty even round. KOs and tiles this round, so they might be trying to go for another A split here. Jet does have the op in tiles, or in cubby though. Or one way to A main. He's like, Nick just does not want to give this angle up here at all. It's Breach Stun going out. They're out. Nick finding one here. Smokes himself off immediately and falls back.
And airless is very low.
Going for a dog just to re-clear for information. Finds that Breach is still A main here. Deep is missing a shot onto Airless. Airless dashing up. Wander can't seem to find one. Zoo peeking from tiles here. Gets picked off from Nez. Looks like Kuno might be in a predicament here. Both LG players are split up very heavily. Seems like High Tide just want to take it up from tree and go from there. They do have to re-clear A main though. I don't think they know that this Omen's possibly in A main.
This 2v4 retake. It's asking a lot. A lot of LG.
Going to heaven. Nick finding one. KJ on very, very good timing here. Finds airlifts. Now a 2v2 situation. Both sides are playing pinch. 6 finds the person main. Kuno finding another. Drops onto site. 6, does he know? And he does, and he finds a kill onto Kuno for a round win.
Almost. Almost.
Last round before the switch.
Almost pulled that through. Almost a clutch. Now LG's taking a timeout. That was a tough round to lose.
Very much so. I believe that they just didn't expect them for all to just go through mid there and just get picked off. And they just split up the 2 site players. They just had to play a full retake on that point. Very good round by High Tide though.
LG just kept swinging into mid. They just kept swinging them and losing the gunfights. So it's maybe the gunfights are starting to turn towards High Tide side.
KJ just staring deep into our souls.
Right.
Very judgmental. Well, taking a look at the ult economy here, not a lot of ults are on, but High Tide does have Omen ults. That is pretty useful, I would say, even on offense, of just maybe just quick rotate or pick up bomb.
And for LG,
anything really
Sky
works.
is one off of her seekers.
That
So
is
we'll
true. 8-3 half. It's not a bad half so far for LG. If they could win this one more round, honestly, I think they're very much set.
Right there.
Oh, it's been a fantastic half by LG.
Very much so.
Just countering everything that High Tide throws at them.
High Tide going for a B split here. KO Knife finds nothing. Defense dashing out. Wanderer gets one but gets traded out. KO Knife goes out. Can't find anybody. Seems like they just want to regroup B here for a B hit. But it seems like 3 players already rotated onto the B site. KJ sticking it out on A with her util. Seems like High Tide just slowly backing off, realizing how much util was invested from the enemy team. Just slowly, High Tide slowly taking some mid space here. Smoked off bottom mid. KO and Cypress going all the way back in their spawn just to re-clear everything. Omen is pushing up B main there.
The other Omen's aware, holding it.
Mr. Vic gets picked off by Nick. Nick finds the kill and backs off immediately. High Tide now pushing up, speeding up the hit onto the A site. Seems like the KO knife was invested. No, that's KJ's here. The KO ult goes out. Site is theirs. They're planting the bomb.
30 seconds left.
Default. Finds one. Can't find the other. Random kid. It's all up to you. Finds one.
Player standing.
Airlifts finds 3.
Hitting the res off.
Turning the red. Nick in heaven. This is all up to you. Finding one.
One enemy
Finding
remaining.
2. Nez getting the trade though. Very, very close round. The
High
round goes
Tide
to High
pulls
Tide.
it off.
Switching sides.
Very, very good rounds from both teams. Defids and Nez, I believe who it was. No, I believe it was Airlifts. He got the 3 kills on the
Yeah,
Jet Knights, I
Airlifts
believe,
just
and then
pulls
Nick.
out 3 kills on
Yeah,
the Jet
very,
Knights.
very, very good round on him.
Right.
And then Nez coming in clutch with almost securing the round for them, but the drop from heaven just messing up his aim, just very, very punishing from that.
His team being able to get that KO res off virtually saved them the
This
round.
goes here.
I tied with the Cyber setup. We'll see how this pays off for them. Like, again, pretty standard so far. KO knife. Earth knifing close wall. Finds nothing. Cypher util still all up here. Let's see here. Seems like they just want to back off. Rotate off onto A. It seems like they have gathered mid space here. It's Omen and Sky. They're getting up. Loses the gunfight. They seem like they're just taking more of A spaces. Do they know that Airlifts is wine here? Airlifts can't seem to connect any shots here. Almost goes for the knife. Can't gets it. And then seems like LG just take all of A space now. It's a 3v4 retake.
Spike planted.
For High Tide here. Nez peeking out heaven here. Zoo gets picked off here. Nez jumping gen. Gets another, gets traded out. Random Indicate gets the person hell. Do they know that Defis is hell as well? And Defis loses a gunfight in hell and the round goes to High Tide.
Great
Overall,
retake. Good pistol round.
Very good round.
Going into this bonus round, sorry, this eco advantage round, with 2 players still alive off of their pistol. Very good. I'm surprised at how seamlessly it seemed like their retake happened after it was so hard for them to take site in the attack half. Now it looked easy. I believe it was the KO jumping in around Jin there to get 2, setting them up.
Seems like LG just want to go for a pretty back play on A main. Notice that the Jets probably pushed up here. Airless finds one, gets traded out. Breach trying to fight for the space here. Trying not to lose the gun. There. LG still having 1 tiles here. Mr. Vic does not know, gets kicked off in mid. Drops another gun. See here, LG has pretty much all of mid control and has 2 guns. It's very, very winnable by them. Seems like they want to regroup and go back to B main. Cypher is set up B main though still, but Nez with the Guardian. KO knife invested, finds nothing. Ominous smoke going out, finds one. Nez finds one here, throws KO knife. Those 2 are here. Flash goes out. Defense in what logs or whatever. Gets killed off here.
30 seconds left.
Both players on site basically. They have a bulldog to work with. Nick ping. Gonna get picked off. All up to
Great swing.
Kuno and just can't seem to find the kill. Very, very good
Great.
round.
And great use of util there by the Cypher. He ended up pulling his cam out, tagging the player that was close to boat there. And when he was pulling the tag off of him, just swung him. Very good use of util there.
The round looked very, very close to like maybe even I would say lost once LG found 2 kills, which had very impactful and both had guns. But it seems like High Tide just had a very good retake, very strong one at that, with their util usage.
And Nez just held them back.
Indeed. Seems like LG here want to go for a default kind of. Work the map, see where everybody is. KO knife going out on both sides of the map, getting 1 of each. Seems like High Tide just kind of just over rotating maybe even here. Meanwhile, LG still working the map, still with default. Seems like they want to back off of A main here. Zoo is in bridge here, trying to look for anything here.
LG doesn't want to give up
Mr.
any of
Vic
these
holding
guns.
bottom mid, finds one, smokes it off. Nick peeking into B main here. Cypher Cam spots him. KO Knife invested, going to deep bottom mid. Tags one here. Nick here going gets KO Knife, can't put smokes down for his team here. All of LG in mid sight here, kind of getting pinched slowly. Nick finding both trips and
30
finding
seconds
random.
left.
See here. LG half site control and a bit of market control here. KO flashing out, getting caught by the KJ Molly. Seems like High Tide want to get this pinch going. Can High Tide find possibly anything here?
One
Airlifts
enemy
gets a
remaining.
kill, gets traded though, and it's all down to Mr. Vic in CT with the sheriff.
Blinded.
They know he's CT now, just holding him out. Just slowly peeking this to get him here. He gets the kill, the round win.
Good job by LG to take that site. Ran through the Cypher util, it seemed, taking advantage of their bonus, or not their bonus, their eco advantage. We'll see a full gun round for both teams now. We'll see what happens in the second half now.
Pretty decent round, not bad by High Tide, but they probably could have just found like one or two more and made it a bit better, but overall pretty solid round from both teams.
Yeah, two guns off of them.
LG resorting back to a default, smoking bottom mid, taking space both A and B main while working up mid. Meanwhile, High Tide pushed up bottom mid, and seems like Cypher's playing market. Nick peeking slowly here onto B main. Not trying to find anything. Finds nothing here. Knows one's market now. Seems like LG just want to start working a lot up towards mid here, trying to get a B split going here. Owen is very far up though. He could get one here. Flash goes out, gets nothing. They think it's clear. Mr. Vic finds two. Does he TP out? He blinds. Then he TPs out. Meanwhile, one random pick gets tagged with KO Knife. His util is all down. Wonder finding a pick through mid here. Airless, however, very far up mid now into their spawn. Do they know? This Wonder gets picked off by Airlifts. Dashes
He almost
in
whipped
the
around and
mid.
got him.
30 seconds
Seems like
left.
LG want to kind of regroup mid, find this jet.
I know he's close.
Smoke going out. Going for a peek.
Player standing.
Airless gets a kill. Gets a trade. Seems like
Their cloud burst out.
and seems like he just wants to go
10
into A, go
seconds
for
left.
plant. He does have the ult for this plant after. Will he invest it though?
Spikes down. My ultimate is ready.
Seems like he just wants to play through main, possibly using the ult.
Calling my bot.
Air Knife gets nothing from heaven. Mr. Vic slowly re-clearing the site.
Smart if they
with
just
random kid.
press the ult right now. Gain a little bit of
AJ
time.
probably playing for lineups actually.
Ooh.
Misses her
miss?
lineup. I don't think she knows. She doesn't have time to
Miss.
throw it.
Diffusing.
And Mr. Vic goes for the defuse. Very unfortunate round by LG there.
I think the second molly hit. It's just the first one missed. It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate round. I believe the KJ ult would have been a good investment there.
I agree.
But I don't know, maybe I'm just not, just thinking correctly, but High Tide going back to a standard default setup. Meanwhile, LG on an eco, I believe.
Here.
Trying to just go for a straight up A rush here. Airless in a very unusual spot, popping knives.
I would never clear this, but I'm a lowly
LG picking
prospect
up
player.
board. flash goes out. Blinds airlifts. Gets
Oh my
one,
goodness.
Gets KO ulted.
Loses
Defense
knives.
dashes onto sight. Slowly clearing up heaven. They have sight. 6 gets 1. Door is not getting shut. High Tide playing a complete retake here. Ominol invested into A main here. They're pushed out of heaven here. High Tide taking
Last
a
player
lot of
standing.
space and just honestly
Wow.
overwhelmed them with sheer numbers.
Airlifts sitting on top of that box at the beginning of the round, tanks the blind, doesn't even move. They still don't clear him, manages to get one, dashes out. That was insane that that actually happened.
Unbelievable even.
Incredible.
Honestly, I just don't know. I'm baffled, I guess, at this point. It's just,
We've got a game. We've got a game.
it's a very
High
close
Tide
game
is
even.
pulling it back.
Seems like LG do have 4 ults here. High Tide have no ults available, so this could be a very strong round for LG.
And their jet is lurking.
Seems like they might just want to like fake it here at this point even. KO is alone on site with Cypher util though. Will they invest KJ ult for this though? KO knife gets 3. Immediately smoking and using some util to deny the site. Seems like overall it's like pretty quiet, pretty slow map.
Here.
KJ turn finding airlifts from tiles. And seems like LG just want to go back mid, take some space mid here. Nick getting airlifts, immediately speeding up the push into A.
I've got your
Breach.
trail.
Stuck
Here's
alone on
this
site.
stampede coming.
Seems like LG just completely push. 6
Great
gets
blind.
defense here. KJ invested.
Spike planted.
What will they do with this now? Door getting closed. Okay, I don't think they had time to break that. And it seems like they detained 1 player. It's a 2 on site, 2 out of sight. See how this goes.
Can't use that.
Nick seems to spray. Can't find one. Nez gets the kill. OG slowly getting onto site now.
This is a hard post plant to take take.
On site. 2. Finds 1. Can't find another. Nez gets a kill. They're just
Time.
playing for post plant and they just don't have time to defuse.
One
The
enemy
round
remaining.
goes to LG. Not a bad round, but so much invested on both sides.
That KJ ult came out for LG and enabled them to get set up in those advantageous post plant positions.
It's a
I think
very
2
deep KJ too.
Yeah, and I think 2 of them were able to just set up in main and play off all the KJ util. There's just nothing High Tide could do with the time that the KJ ult allowed LG.
Sadly, no. The very deep KJ very much helped him get a lot of
think-
space and bought a lot of time.
I think it detained 2 of them as well.
I
so
believe it
it's
was 1.
just
I believe
1.
so. I
I think
believe so.
yeah, maybe it was just airlifts. But still, that's how long is the detain? I think it's 5 seconds. It's still 5 seconds.
As a KJ man, I could not tell you either. So
I
it's
I
very
think it's
funny.
5 seconds. We can always look it up during this timeout, where these defenders are trying to just figure out what they can do to stop this. What seems like the rolling waves of LG.
The detain duration is 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
Very
That's a
long
lot of time.
So that honestly, and how deep it was, it honestly just allowed them for like it bought them so much time because of counting down and going back on the site and completely retaking it. It was just so much time bought.
This
Get
should
out
do.
of my way.
Seems like LG want to go for another possible B split, but who knows? KO knife getting 3 here. Nick getting stunned up. Airlift dashing into Nick, getting the kill. LG
the
slowly
gun.
start Don't realize that they probably have to speed up here. Start pushing their util out. Flash going out. Dog going out. Cypher Trap getting one. Nez getting two. Random Kid getting another one from Switch. Mizzou gets one. Does not have the bomb though. Getting pinched. Realizing how fast he's getting pinched here. What will he do? Sky Flash goes out. Knows one. Finds one stairs. Just can't seem to get anything done.
This is a great round by High Tide.
Indeed.
It seemed like LG just pushed into the firing squad that was Nez and one random kid playing off of all of that Cypher util there in B main. Very well played.
I will say, 6 and Airlifts comboing that util to find that Omen very, very good. Honestly, forcing LG to speed up that hit was very, very useful in the teams of High Tide.
And now LG's stuck on an eco round.
Airlifts, honestly, wait, the Breachel might get invested here if may make any noise.
Looks like they're gonna get aggressive in main.
4 mid here. Seems like he wants to cancel. Breach stun does go out long here. Crash goes out from Jet. They say to take tree space here. Not realizing 6. Getting shot in the back. Going for a gun here. LG fully have tree control here. Probably slowly pushing out onto site.
Nobody watching this
control.
Omen.
Omen has a very good timing. Gets one. Doesn't know Mr. Vic's here. Mr. Vic gets a trade here. 4v2 retake on the side of High Tide. Does not plant yet, actually.
One enemy remaining.
Zoo finding the kill into heaven. Now it's all up to Mr. Vic. A lot of util allowed. Smoke going out for possibly a walkout, but TP's across. They don't know.
I'll be trying to save.
Possibly he's just running away. Probably going mid here. Finding LG
Defitz is aware.
Here. Defitz knows and just punishes. Honestly, really solid round from LG, especially on their eco round.
Once they got that breach and tree, they just ran it down with the 2 players playing aggressively in B main. They didn't hold each other's angle for the Omen to push through. And backstabs, I believe it was Airlifts.
Possibly a miscommunication even. I think either way, I think even if there was no contact or noise made on A main, I think you just push that with Breachel, trying to find something. Let's see how it goes. Again, LG going for a 4-1 here. KO lurking deep B here.
See ya.
Airlift's finding a nice shot onto Nick.
It was a nasty
dash.
shot.
Dashes away. Knows one's here. Breachel used, invested into this round. Pushing
They're
up
gonna
into
push
A
this?
main.
All 3 players.
And
they're all blind.
Pushing very, very deep. They know bombs here now because they see it. Breach stun gets invested. Nez getting 2. Gets traded out though. Defitz putting very far back. Mr. finding one on mid here. It's all up to Defitz here. And he won the round. They're clearly clearing him out here. He saw the shoulder. Gets one and Airless gets a trade. Very, very good round.
My goodness. High Tide just played that like they were on the attack half. Just fully rushed out after that. Breachel.
It's
The
kind of
blind
crazy.
was perfect. All the util was great for that play. Crazy play call by Mr. Vic there. But it worked out in their favor. And once again, I think LG are back on a little bit of a weird buy. Well, maybe not. They've got 4 rifles and then 1 with a bulldog and half shields. But let's see if they can pull it off.
High Tide have KO and Cypher ults. LG doesn't really have it all to work with here. So High Tide have a really good retake ult. Sky
Guy's
picking
got
up
Seekers.
orb. Defense pushed up very far up mid here. Clearing all of Cubby here. Seems like they want to go to 8 for here.
Oh,
6
what a
finding the
shot.
kill onto Defense here.
One suppressed.
Now it seems like they just want to take 3 mid here, but they pushed up B main, so they know where they all are. 6
High Tide getting so
trying to find a
aggressive
kill.
here.
High Tide investing a lot of util here. Trying to clear out the
I've got your
person in
trail.
Sub Rosa. Sky using ult to get into A side. Did they know that the Cypher is here though? Cypher, they know that the Cypher is here now. Molly going out. Run Random Kick can't seem to find one. Kuno finding another. Nez getting the trade onto for Run Random.
Spike planted.
Hale is invested.
Airlift's on the
AJ
flank.
stuck in tree.
Flash.
Hale flash going out. Hale knife invested as well. Airlift's on a very, very deep flank, but I don't think they know that this KJ is tree. Sky and KO holding sight. See what they can do. Airlift finds one. Cam seems to find another. Gets traded out.
One enemy
Dropped on the
remaining.
side. Zoo gets another. Throws the person's dice.
Oh,
LG just secure. Possible.
Bot coming
brings
back.
them the map
round
point.
win.
Match point.
Wow, I thought that they were gonna pull it off. Airlifts just couldn't get that second kill there. Gets traded out, and unfortunately that cost them. It was a great flank though.
I will say LG do have KO ult. This is very strong if they just decide to send it B where they think the Cypher will be.
They're also 2 off of the KJ ult, so the orb and the plant. Give that to her too.
Indeed. KO is suspended right here. KO on site by himself, back in boat.
Once again, aggro in mid by High Tide.
LG smokes not going down. Seems to just take the site without smokes down is very interesting. But that is finding one from boat.
One enemy
Airless finding
remaining.
another. Mystific finding 2. Nez somehow still alive in both. Tuna finds
Oh
one and
my
gets traded out by
goodness.
Nez.
High Tide fighting tooth and nail, trying to stay in this game. Oh my. We've got 12 to 11. Can they push this to overtime? Of this map point. It was a great round. This is very, very fun to watch. It's a lot of chaos going on. But it's a very entertaining game so far.
Very much so. It's honestly, it's either round win for LG and they win it, or they High Tide just win the round and bring it to overtime here. Seems like LG just want to default, kind of work the map. Airlift's on the op though. Holding cat finds one, dashes away. Knows one is tiles. Defit's kind of working up freezer here. Just taking some pot shots on top of site.
Oh, that is
Defitz
crazy.
does hear him. Defitz hears him. Doesn't peek though. Nick
He doesn't
finding
know.
a kill. Airlift
has
just
no clue.
he's worried. I don't think Airlift knows that he might just get peeked here. Airlift gets the off shot. Misses another. Gets punished by Nyx. LG start pushing up mid here. We're backing off and seemingly want to go onto A site here.
I think they picked up the up.
Defense staying behind just to deny op possibly. Breach working up A main. Meanwhile, LG half sight. Closing market door.
You should run.
KJL invested. This is a very good.
Oh,
Zoo gets the
no.
kill
30
onto
seconds
6. Plant starts to go down.
Spikes down. Placing swarm
All these going on. This is a very, very hard round for High Tide to come back into.
High Tide has a lot of work ahead of them.
The 2v4
Cover going out.
seem to smoke off their heaven walk out.
There's also Molly's on bomb.
Mr. Vic going for a blind. Can't clear hell that way. And Zoo finding 2. Then here's the map win for LG.
GG. My goodness. That was a close map. I think it was
Very
8-4
close.
at the half, or was it 9-3 at the half? No, this
It
map was 8-4 at
This
the
map
half.
was 8-4.
And High Tide clawed back, trying to get themselves back into it. Unable to prevail though.
I was
LG.
hoping for an overtime there, honestly.
Yeah. That was a chaotic 2 maps. LG take both of them.
Very close maps on both as well. I'm excited for Prospect this season. If it keeps going this way, honestly, I would be pretty happy for Prospect. Very close games on both maps.
It
Just the
was.
smallest decision makings is what turned it around though.
It was a lot of aggression. I think High Tide very aggro on both maps, it would seem. But I mean, they were getting their kills. I think it's all about the trades that weren't coming in for them. But overall, I think both teams put in really good performances. Match day 1, teams trying to get themselves together, trying to figure out how to play well. So overall, really good games. GG's, everybody.
GG's
Congrats,
on both
LG.
sides. Congrats, LG, on the 2-0 as well.
Airlifts top fragging both games, I believe, too.
I believe so.
All right. And thank you, everybody, for coming in and watching the stream. Congrats to both teams. And we're out of here for the night. GG's.